Hello, I'm JD, and I am not a poker pro yet. However, I have been getting back in poker, doing more studying, more playing. I've been playing 2 to 3 times a week over the past month. I've won 3 of the last 4 sessions. Other than that, I've been kind of win one, lose one. So I guess you could say somewhat break even, but I believe I'm turning a corner. You may argue I'm running good, and that's possible, but my plays is I've been tightening up. I've made a major hurdle forward in my game through studying and playing, being more disciplined, and things of that nature, and learning and doing more studying, upgrading my game. So I took some notes, talk about a couple hands. You see what I have first in the docket. So I had a hand where, let's see. Oh, this was last night. I was under the gun. It was like the second or third hand. I limped with ace king. I don't normally do this, but every once in a blue moon I'll do something out of character. I'm not the kind of person who likes to limp with aces and kings, and not typically, but every once in a while I will. So in this particular case, I bought in short. This one too. I bought in for 100, and I don't normally buy in for 100, but they just started a new table. It's like 6 or 7 people. Everyone bought in for 100, so I bought in for 100. Anyways, I limp with ace king, under the gun +1, raises to 10. And then 4 other people called. You got 4 other people. So it gets back around to me. And I push all in. That's what I like to do. And at this point, there's $50 in the pot plus my $2 I have in there. So there's $52 in the pot. I'm perfectly fine if everyone folds. I take down the $50. I don't have to risk losing with ace king. But I actually end up getting 2 callers. So one guy, he matched. He had the same amount of chips. We matched. So he puts in the rest of the $90 he has left. And I get one other call. The guy has about $50 or $60. He calls. And I had a king on the flop. Becomes king 3-7 rainbow. 9 and 2, the turn and river, and that's how I got a king. Flip it over, and the other 2 players muck. Great start, and this was last night. I guess the other. I'll just talk more about last night. I didn't take notes in the other hands, but really last night I was exceptionally tight. I played very tight, tighter than I normally do, and more aggressive than I normally do, and it turned out to be a profitable night. So that was my first big hand, so I was up to about 250 or so. Another big hand that I won, there was a pre-flop raise. I looked down at queens. The raise was to 15. I repop it to 45, 3x raise. And the original raiser calls me. Everybody else folds. And I don't remember the particulars of the flop. It was like 10... 8-5 or something with a flush draw, but I didn't have the draw for the backdoor flush draw with my queens. That's all I know. So I bet heavy. Actually, you know what? I got 2 callers in that hand. I bet heavy. Some may argue I bet too much, but I like to bet $100. I guess maybe it wasn't overbet. The pot was probably about at that point $180 or so. I just grab a stack of 100, push it in there. The tight player to my left immediately folds. This, somewhat loose, aggressive player to my right, he calls. I have no idea what he calls with because I end up winning. Well, funny thing, the board paired in the turn and then the river, they were all, no face cards on the board. So, the guy goes, and the flush doesn't get there either. There's no, the flush draw doesn't get there. He says, 2 pair. And then I look at make sure, okay, the board paired. I was like, yeah, I got 2 pair too. And then he mucks. He was like, well, sometimes when I say 2 pair, people fold. So you always want to double check your hand. I don't think at any point I was going to fold my hand. But, actually that same night there was a player who, he lost an $800 pot because he mucked his cards when he thought the other player had a straight. And honestly, his cards actually didn't even touch the muck pile. But at this place I play at, they said it was his intention that he was trying to muck, and when we tried to flip over his cards, it's too late. And the other guy only had a pair, but he thought he had a straight in his head. I think in his head he put him on a straight, so then when he threw over 2 cards, he kind of formed a straight in his head, whatever. But he lost out on a huge pot. That guy ended up leaving and going to the casino an hour and a half away. I live in Texas, where it's illegal to rake and do these kind of things, or for casinos to be here, play Texas Hold'em. So, anyways, yeah, just double check your hand just to make sure you lost. I mean, yeah, it never hurt. It may save you $800. And that pot, if I would have thrown it in my hand because I thought the guy had me beat, I made sure to look to see if the board was paired. He said 2 pair, like before I even realized there's 2 pairs. But I look, okay, the board pair, okay, my queen should be good. I had to overpair, so yeah, it's good. Another hand. Actually, I got 2 other hands. This where I was very aggressive pre-flop. It folds all the way over to the cutoff. He raises. He's the same loose aggressive player that I was in the previous hand. And I look down at ace queen suited spades. So he raises to 15. I put in the 3-bet to 45. Ace queen suited. So I figure if he's a loose player, I'm well ahead of his range with ace queen suited. So I pop it for 45. The guy to the left, he's been relatively tight. More tight passive player. He calls, and it comes back around to the cutoff, and he folds. Says good bet, and he folds his $15. So very happy to have the dead money in there. So, but the small blind, I'm on the button. Small blind calls the 45. So flop comes. I don't remember exactly. That's why I should have taken notes. It was 10 something and like 4-2. I mean, there wasn't any major draws. And basically what I do, he's a very tight player. So what I do is, I was like, I got 2 overs. I bet $100. I bet pot. And I got fold equity. I in my head, I said more than half the time this guy's gonna fold this pot. He probably missed, if he's got a good pocket pair, I beat, but, not beat, excuse me, but I could still draw the 2 over. So, to me, this was definitely the winning play here. Let's bet the $100, because most of the time he's going to fold here, or at least more than half the time. And if he does call, I'm still going to win the hand. If he calls with, like, top pair, and I got 2 overs, I'm still going to win that pot 30% of the time. So, I definitely thought that was the right move in this particular situation, and he just ended up folding, so I take down the pot, and it was a good pot. It was a good pot to take down. Profit made about $50 on that hand. So, let's see, 6, 12. Okay, maybe I wouldn't have won 30% of the time, but close. Anyways. Last but not least, another hand from that night. I'm on the button again. Just like the ace queen, I was on the button. There was a raise by the 2 stacks that are bigger than mine. There's 2 stacks bigger than mine. The first one raises, the second one calls, gets back to the same loose aggressive player. He calls, and then before that, there's a very tight passive player that also calls. So there's 3 callers right there. The loose aggressive player calls. That's 4 players, and then I wake up to pocket 9s. Not a great hand, but I played very tight tonight, and I figure I could take down 2 blinds. I 3-bet to in this hand. I believe I 3-bet to 50 or 55, and I get a call to the same player that was in the last hand. With he calls my 50. And fold. The tight passive player goes all in for like $26, and then fold to the loose aggressive player. So it's just me and the same guy in the hand last time. The tight another tight player, not as medium aggression. Anyways, so the flop comes. Oh, I remember now. Actually, it wasn't the guy that left that called me. It was a guy, another guy to my right. He was another tight passive player, so I had position on him. It was the cutoff. So he was someone who came. Anyways, he's on the cutoff. The flop comes ace, queen, 10. So, I mean, I got pocket 9, so I'm not looking too good here. So, he checks, I check the flop, and then the turn comes, it's a brick. It's an offsuit, like 5 or something. So, he checks again. I bet $15 into a pot. It's like 100 and... I don't remember. It was like a $150 pot or something. And he folds. He just folds. I'm like, okay. And then, you know, I flip over pocket 9s, and a couple people on the table are like, really? Because I told the guy across the table who was all in, I was like, I scoop in the side pot, and I say, man, if you hit this board, you're good. And then, you know, he flips over ace 10, so he had 2 pair. But pocket 9s, and I heard a couple players on the other side of the table was like, really? Like, they were so surprised that I'd raised pocket 9s. And when you have this tight image, and sometimes, you know, every once in a while, because they had seen a lot of the hands I 3-bet before, they were all ace queen suited or better, and pocket 9s is a good hand, yes, but they were surprised. Maybe they might have folded 10s or jacks to me because of how tight my image was, which would have been a bad play on their part. But I don't know, maybe they folded ace king, I'm not sure. I think they were upset probably because maybe one would have flopped a set with king jack or something, or flop ace queen top 2 pair. I'm not sure what they folded, but they were disappointed to see that I only had pocket 9s, and they probably would have scooped in a huge freaking pot. But that's the beauty of being aggression. You get people to fold, and there's dead money. So I got some other notes. I'll refer to these notes. I'll talk about these hands in another video. Nonetheless, I'm still not a poker pro yet, but I believe I'm now a profitable 1-2 player, as I was break even, I believe, at best before this year. Just upgraded my game, more discipline, and pay more attention to people at the table. So anyways, see you guys in the next video. Bye.